Hey YouTube, YTPC, Pipe Miner Chris. Got a video today marking a milestone in my pipe smoking hobby. This is, well, I don't know if it's within days or within a week of when I started this hobby a year ago. So, I thought, rather than do a top 10 blends at the beginning of the year like everybody else, I thought I'd wait and do them now after, when I hit my 1 year of pipe smoking. So this will be my 10 favorite blends so far. Now today, I am smoking one of the pipes that got me into this hobby. This is one of my, well, not one of them, but this is my Peterson St. Patrick's Day pipe from 2017. And I know I've told it before, but I went into my local shop and they had a whole batch of these pipes in there. I think there was 12 or 15 of them, something. They had a bunch of them. Was going in to get cigars with a buddy of mine. Just happened to look over because pipes had always kind of interested me a little bit, but I looked over and I saw all these green pipes over there. Never had seen a green pipe before. So I walked over and started looking and just immediately was, oh, I gotta have one of those. And the shape that I liked right off the bat was the 999. Well, I couldn't, get it that day, but by the time I got back, the 999 was gone, so they had this 69, and I picked it up. It's perfectly fine. So, but anyway, thought I'd go through the blends that I had tried, and so this weekend I sat down and started making a list because I didn't do a very good job of keeping track while I was doing it, and I started writing stuff down, and I ended up with this whole page, and part of that page. I knew I had tried quite a bit of stuff because my local shop carries a good variety, and they keep a lot of stuff on hand in bulk. So of course, you start out on aromatics. I was buying an ounce of this, an ounce of that. There'd be weeks I'd go in, if I had the money, 10, 12 bucks, whatever to throw at it. I'd buy 4 or 5 ounces of stuff and come home, try it, and I either liked it or I didn't, whatever. But I started going through stuff, and by the time I added up, between what I had bought and what people had sent me for samples, and I've had Berg is one. I've had a couple other guys send me samples of stuff, and you get samples. Berg alone sent me 12 different things, and I think only one of them had I tried. So that's a very fast or a way to try a lot of stuff very quickly. And they're big enough samples to get an idea of whether you really kind of like the blend or not. So I was rather surprised by the fact that I had 77 blends. Didn't expect that many, but oh well. So I will go through this list a little bit. Going through a couple honorable mentions, sort of. One is my favorite OTC blend, and I've tried 6 of the OTCs. One of them, the Velvet, was not for me at all, and so I sent that off to somebody that likes it rather well. But my favorite is Carter Hall, and I've talked to people that don't like Carter Hall at all. Can't take it. I don't have a problem with it. It's the beauty of this hobby and all the different blends that we have. There's something out here for everybody. So, damn it. Talking too much. I'll get to what I'm smoking in here in a minute, but because it's one of my top 10. Another one is Berg had sent me those 3 different varieties of Mississippi River. I say varieties, but they're just different ages. One was a 2012, one was a 14-15 blend, and one was a 17 blend. And he wanted, my impressions of them because he thought that they had changed something, or had heard that they had changed something. Like 2 different times they had changed that blend from the original to what they're currently selling. So he sent me all 3 to see what I thought. Tried them, and yes, there is a big difference between that 2012 to 2014-15. Noticeable difference, and then again between the 15 and 17 there's a very noticeable difference. And I really like the 17, but I haven't smoked enough of it to actually put it on my list. But if it holds up as good as what that initial sample was, it will definitely be high on the list for the next year. We'll go through what has turned out to be, the, I guess, aromatics that I liked. The very first one I tried was Lane 1Q, but I started finding some others that I liked, had different, better flavors. So the first aromatic that's on my list, that I've just got a bag of it back here, but it's one that my local shop blends. It's called Pavlov's Puff. I think it's 4 different tobaccos that they put together in it. You get a little bit of coffee, a little bit of chocolate, a little vanilla. It's actually a pretty good one. The next aromatic is Petersons Connoisseur's Choice, and this is one that was one of the first. I stepped into Peterson blends were the first tinned tobaccos that I started buying were Petersons, because they have a bunch of tins at my shop. And I had looked, and that one, this being the tropical fruit, rum, kind of vanilla flavors, sounded interesting to me, and I really do enjoy that one. I still go to it occasionally, not real often, but occasionally. I will say, we'll go into some Virginias and Vapors next, because the next kind of tinned tobacco that I bought, and I don't have any right now, is Peterson's Irish Oak. It's a vapor, that's what they bill it, but it's a really interesting one because it's got, like, you get 3 kind of different flavor profiles as you go down through the bowl. It starts out one way and builds a little bit, and it changes down through the bowl, which I found to be fascinating at the time I tried it, and have smoked it several times since and still enjoy it. So Peterson Irish Oak's on there. I haven't tried a whole lot of vapors, but my next one will be Dorchester. Now, I've had the luck and fortune to either stumble across or get a hold of several of the Esoterica blends. I think I got 10 Esotericas and a couple of Germains, which is kind of apparently rare in your first year, but I've had friends telling me, hey, they've got some of this over here and that kind of stuff. So it makes a lot of difference when you make, you kind of network and you get people telling you that stuff. So the next one is a Virginia that's also an Esoterica, but it's Tilbury. And I saw Joe and Bull talking about that, decided I'd give that a try. Man, is it good. I do enjoy that. Another one that I've come into more recently is, it's not a Virginia, I think this is actually Burley based, but it's McGowan HH Old Dark Fired. And I know there's lots of people out there that really like that one, and that's understandable. Very savory, very spicy, full bodied, I enjoy that. And in fact, that whole, if you haven't tried it, that whole McGowan HH line is really good, high quality tobacco. I mean, I liked every one of them. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I've got Dorchester in here. Blew right through there and never even mentioned it. So, early on, I tried the first English or Latakia blend that I tried. They have it in bulk at my shop. It was Balkan Supreme. Now I can tell you, I bought an ounce, tried it. I think I smoked 3 bowls. Tried to smoke 3 bowls. Did not. My palate was not ready for Latakia. Had not, and I don't know if it was the Orientals or what, but I was dirty socks. I just was not enjoying that tobacco at all. Got to the point where I couldn't even stand the smell of it here in the bag. So that's the only tobacco that I've purchased and thrown away. I have since come to my senses. Now that I know what Latakia is about, I have grown to be quite fond of English blends. So this is actually, we're going to do this in a different order. This one here gets billed as an aromatic. I don't pick it up. I don't get the aromatic side of it. To me, this is just a nice, kind of real mild English. It's esoteric and so to bed. All I get is just a real mild Latakia blend. I mean, it's good. The next one is definitely not mild, but very good. And this one, Quiet Nights, and its counterpart, Star of the East, get billed quite frequently as esoteric or Penzance killers, or Penzance comparable or the same as Penzance. In my opinion, no, not even close. They are, Penzance is definitely far smoother, more balanced. Just, I don't know. They're just, you get the unicorn farts and pixie dust and all of that out of Penzance. It's just, I find it that good. Quiet Nights, also an excellent tobacco, but for very different reasons. This one is far more savory, far more smoky. You get hints of that barbecue kind of stuff in it. It's a very different tobacco. It's not the same as Penzance, but my opinion. The next one is another McBaron HH line. It's the Vintage Syrian. I found this one, started seeing stuff about the differences between Syrian Latakia and Cyprian Latakia, and thought, I'll see if I can find some of that and give it a try. Oh, there's definitely differences. That one is, to me, is smoother, a little bit sweeter, a little bit less. You don't get that in-your-face campfire smell out of that. It's just, that Syrian Latakia is outstanding. And of course, it sounds like, well, I know it is. The Syrian Latakia is done, so whatever supplies are on hand is all we're going to get. So there's one of my favorites that I have stocked up on a little bit. I'm going to get some more, but I have stocked up on just so I've got enough smoke. But yeah, that's one of my favorites that's disappearing. My other one, and my favorite blend so far after 1 year, is Frogmorton Cellar, which by a strange coincidence sounds like it's going away. So, I had kind of heard early on that Dunhill was going away, so I didn't really dive in on the Dunhill blends, get too carried away about trying to buy a bunch of those. I've tried a few, but nothing major, because I thought, why would I jump in on something and maybe find something that I really like that's going to go away? Was trying to avoid that pain, and it inadvertently found 2 of my favorites that are in the same condition. Yay for me. So, that covers my top 10 blends. I'm looking forward to trying much more stuff because I haven't tried them all yet. I don't know that I ever would, but I've developed some that I want to keep around, and I keep looking at new stuff. You know, I keep finding new things that I like, and people send me samples of stuff that they've got that, you know, I find their palates are similar to mine, so they send me samples, and you know, I find things in there that, holy cow. You know, I don't chase very many aromatics anymore, but I had somebody send me a sample of Rattray's exotic orange. Well, I'll be chasing some of that. The other one that I've gotten hold of now that I just haven't smoked enough of it is that McClellan's 40th anniversary. Man, that is a very high quality Virginia. I like it a bit much. I have trouble not keeping my pace down. I usually end up biting the hell out of my tongue before I get that done, but it's really good. So, you know, I'm a year into this. Had no idea when I started this that I'd ever put anything on YouTube. I'm glad I did, because through this and through the pipe smoking, I have made friends, I've made connections. It's the farther I get into this hobby, the more I enjoy it. And I want to thank everybody who's subscribed to me and watches my videos and sends feedback. I appreciate every piece of it. And until we get a chance to talk in person, or until we see each other, remember, life is short. Stop and smell the smoke.